Well, he's just had the 13 seconds as Rugby League stands against discrimination and racism, and it's now for the main event here at the Tetley Stadium. It is the Bradford Bulls against the Halifax Panthers. A lot of local pride on the line here this evening. Game number 5 of the championship, round 2, and it will be Halifax to get us underway. The referee for this one this evening, Tom Grant from Leeds. Whistle to lips, let's have some fun. It's Mick Gledall, Brian Noble, and it's the Our League stream. It is Bradford against Halifax, and it will be Levi Nzongu who will carry the ball in on the first tackle of this evening's fixture here. As we said, John Keir very keen to see some fighting spirit and pride in the shirt from the Bradford players. For Simon Griggs and Halifax, he wants his side to do everything right again, Brian.
He would, after last week's performance for Halifax, but early signs here, first few carries, Crossley and Nzongu, they've shown some vigour in the carry, and they clearly tend to run the ball early, this Bradford team. Good start so far.
Doyle in there at dummy half, back to Nzongu, his second carry in the opening drive here, and he's made 10 valuable metres for John Keir's side there. 40 metres out on the last tackle. He'll go to Brough, that ever reliable, trusty left boot. Good hang time on this. Lilly forces the ball backwards. The referee, though, will give a penalty to Halifax, and he will say that Jordan Lilly was just ever so slightly in front there of Danny Brough. But a very lively start for Bradford.
It looked a tough call, a great opening set from the Bulls, and Nzongu particularly, a couple of carries there, really impressive. And then one of the things John Keir said, you've got to be squeaky clean, you don't give the opposition any free meterage, and if he's a millimetre offside, it's a poor call from Lilly if it was indeed him.
Well, Halifax are 40 metres out here. They made 4 changes ahead of the game this evening. Rawsthorne, Worthington, Brough and Calcott all coming in for McGrath, Hewitt, Davis and Fairbank. Bradford just making the 3 changes. As John Keir quite rightly said, there'd be some casualties after that performance against Sheffield, and here we see Liam Harris taking that Bradford Bulls defensive line on. Looks to be a little bit of a knock there to Aaron Murphy in back place, so Aaron Murphy's just gone down and receiving a bit of attention there. Not quite sure what happened there, Brian.
I think he copped a boot in the tackle. I don't think it was anything deliberate, but an early indication there that Liam Harris is prepared to take on the line, and whatever you say about your halfbacks, they've got to be a threat. So once he becomes a running threat, then the defenders have to account for him in the defensive line, which makes it difficult to peel off.
Aaron Murphy gets the all clear. He goes back in that Bradford Bulls defensive line, and this is a good opportunity for Halifax to test that Bradford Bulls defence and see if that fighting spirit is there, as Leroy along the line there to Robinson to Griggs. Good fast hands. Rawsthorne head down looking towards the corner. Rawsthorne bundled into touch there by Lilly and Brown, and I tell you what, that attack was almost as good as the defence there, Brian. Halifax going close. We've just seen what Halifax might look to do with Harris and Robinson leaking in the halves, but that was good sliding defence from the Bulls.
Leroy played his part as well. A slick right to left attacking move from the Halifax team, but the numbers of white jumpers in defence at the end there is an indication of how much this game's meaning to them early on. They've got to keep that going for 80.
Well, we've had 2 minutes on the Our League this evening. We're here at the Tetley Stadium, and as we've already seen a number of eye-catching results elsewhere from round 2. We'll talk about those at half-time, but here goes Doyle scampering out of dummy half. Tom Doyle rolled over on his back, and both coaches will be looking to not give far too many penalties, all the 6 gains here, because despite the sun starting to set, it's still quite mild and humid here at the Tetley Stadium, as it goes from Doyle to Levi Nzongu. Levi Nzongu, the former Melbourne Storm, Hull FC St Helens man. He's found life in Bradford here, carries Bradford up to halfway. Lilly peppers one, rolls it along the floor. That'll be trapped there by Saltonstall. Juggles the ball up, promotes it forward, and he's going to be brought down there by Nzongu and Ben Evans in a 2-man tackle. Tom Doyle, the 3rd man there, just retreating back to the 10. I think John Keir will be happy, Brian, with what we've seen so far.
I'm sure he will. Lilly's kick there finds a bit of space, a bit of grass, and Saltonstall has to work really hard. But an impressive kick chase as well from the Bradford team. Boy, the boy Nzongu started the game well, hasn't he? And you can't do that. That's the 2nd defensive set they've had in that part of the field. They've given a penalty for offside, they've given a penalty for Lilly being offside previously. It's just freebies. they're doing some really good stuff in their first few sets, Bradford, but boy, do they making it hard for themselves. Pick up your discipline.
2 early penalties then to the visitors as Harris gives the ball to Moore. Captain Moore looks for those willing runners and finds one there as Steve Crossley has to come in and bring down Elliot Morris. Morris quick play the ball, it goes wide towards Robinson, and that's a penalty to Halifax. They've had 3 quick fire penalties. I think Tom Grant's going to say someone's led with a shoulder there, Brian.
Yeah, I think he's saying he hasn't wrapped his arms around the potential kind of on Griggs. He's not offside, he's saying he's pushed him from the inside. So interesting to see whether Halifax play on here, which I think they will.
Just looking at the replay there, looks like the referee has penalised the Welsh international Rhys Evans, just coming at the side with a shoulder there. Halifax declining the 2 points on offer, a very kickable 2 points for someone of Connor Robinson's ilk, but they're going to turn down 2 and look for 4 or 6. Here we go. Bradford under the pump and they're offside again, says referee Tom Grant. So a very lively start with a whistle from the young referee from Leeds, Brian.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether Tom Grant's got a bee in his bonnet, just dragging Steve Crossley out here to give him a gobful and saying, mate, that's 3 offside penalties, as well as you knocking off the line. That enthusiasm can sometimes spill over. You want to jump the line, you want to get there quickly, you want to meet the attackers, and Tom Grant's silly got in his head that they're a bit too quick off the line here.
Well, Steve Crossley just having a word there, the Bradford captain, and well, it's been a while since I've seen a referee award penalties, and without looking at the replay, Brian, very difficult to see because Halifax have had all that pressure there, and just looking at the replay there, you could see Bradford struggling to get back, and Tom Grant's perfectly right there.
Yeah, I mean, these officials are good. There is no doubt about that. And Bradford were less than good there. It's the speed of the ruck that's Bradford are finding difficult. They've got some good technique about them, Halifax, and there you go. Connor Robinson smashes the ball over for a 2-0 lead.
Connor Robinson, the former York man, he's made his last appearance for Halifax back in 2017, so he's back at the Shea, and Halifax have the early points on the board. Interesting decision there, Brian. Would you have potentially gone again?
Yeah, I'd have gone again, because it just takes juice out of this Bradford team that you've got to curb their enthusiasm somewhere, because you've got to think that someone like Lilly and Brough are going to manufacture a play when they get to the right end of the field, when they can stop giving away penalties. And an interesting fact about this field, Mick, is, and for our viewers, is it's a short field, so it's around about 90 metres, so your running game isn't going to be too disadvantaged. Even if you get to play 4 and 5 and you think you haven't made much meterage, Bradford have such good kickers in their team, and clearly Halifax do as well, that they'll be confident. So looking after the ball today becomes a priority.
Well, Halifax on the restart after that early penalty by Connor Robinson. They lead the Bulls by 2 points to 0 as Kevin Leroy, one of 6 former Bradford men in this Halifax side this evening. So there's perhaps that could be a factor as Robinson gets around Evans. Can't get past Evans, who comes in. That was brother Rhys, and Halifax on the last tackle on halfway, so relatively positive defensive set.
That's moving. There you go. Knew it was.
Kicked ahead there by Murray. Murray's offloaded the ball. There's a chance here for Moore. Moore floats it out to Harris. Harris towards Saltonstall. Saltonstall. A spectacular one-hand put down in the corner. Halifax go back-to-back on the restart and lead by 6 points to 0.
Was it Harris or was it Robinson with the kick? Whoever it was, that went up and was coming down in spirals. And I tell you what, Pickles-Gill had no chance. That was going all over the shop, Mick. All over the shop. Called it. Here we go. Let's see the kick. Confident. Who is it? There you go. It's the boy Harris. Boom. Well, I tell you what, just for our viewers, that is going sideways, long ways. Pickles-Gill, no chance with this. Misses it by a mile. And then the play on started. He boots it, and then a little bit of basketball from the Halifax team keeping it alive. The referee not blowing the P on the initial knock-on. Harris again, who kicked the ball initially, finds Saltonstall and still needs finishing. Brilliant finish from Saltonstall. Great try from Halifax.
Fantastic athleticism there from the former Hull Keystone Rovers and Toronto winger, 25 years of age, Nick Rawsthorne. He will enjoy that one against the old enemy, and Connor Robinson has a very difficult goal kick assignment on this main stand side. It's a metre in, if that, and the referee will be forced to stop the clock here because the ball has just gone off the kicking tee, but not the start that John Keir would have envisaged, certainly after that positive opening set from the Bulls. And this potentially to put Halifax 2 scores ahead inside the opening 10 minutes. Robinson with that left boot, that one's curling, and that one goes between the posts from the touchline. Bradford 0, Halifax 8. What's the message coming on from John Keir, Brian?
Hold your nerve. Clearly the penalties are an issue, so be a bit more squeaky clean, give the referee an extra metre. Get yourselves into the game. They're not in the game yet, Bradford. They've had, I think, 1 set out of their own half, and Zongu's looked really, really dangerous. They've got no field position, they haven't had any ball, and Halifax have had all the breaks with the penalties. It's all Halifax.
So Halifax from that restart, looking to really kick on after bouncing back after that disappointing defeat to Batley in the Challenge Cup. Simon Griggs not afraid to mince his words after that defeat, and they fully responded, and here we are, Halifax leading Bradford by 8 points to 0, and certainly in the opening 10 minutes looking a class above their West Yorkshire rivals as they come down this short hand side here. Danny Brough has to come in with Ross Oakes on a 2-man tackle, bringing down Harris. Moore in at dummy half to Griggs. Griggs finds Murray, one of those 6 former Bradford men in the Halifax side this evening, albeit he was on loan at the Bulls at the time back in 2017. 6 appearances and 2 tries as Halifax now are up inside the Bradford half, and this is the 5th and last tackle. Brandon Pickersgill just getting into position because he knows what's coming. This time it's Robinson. There's more spiral and swirl on it. Brandon Pickersgill takes that one. He's back towards his own post, and he will be brought down and wrestled to the floor 10 metres out. That'll give him a bit more confidence, Brian, now.
Well, it was all back of the kick pressure from Bradford on Harris there. He couldn't kick the ball how he wanted to, so it ended up being end over end, which is an easier catch for Pickersgill. So all of the small things that Coach Keir's turned them out to Bradford about what you need to do, that would be one of them. Get some kick pressure on. Don't let them kick for free. Don't let them dictate to you. Get out there and carry the ball real strong.
Chance there from Joe Brown. Bit of a lively hop and a skip and a jump. Jordan Lilly head down looking for a 40-20, but Griggs comes across, and Griggs will return that from his own 20-metre line. The pass on the inside. How good's the Bulls' defence? Steve Crossley in there, so too Nzongu. Nzongu lets Aaron Murphy come in to bring down not Ed Barber there, Nick Rawsthorne. Barber just warming up below our commentary position here. Been a very lively, energetic start by the Halifax Panthers in there. Alternative strip this evening as it all changed at the Shea in 2021. The Blue Sox well and truly out of the window, and they're now the Panthers, and certainly the marketing success of that decision will be certainly paying its dividends when fans are allowed back in at the Shea in a month or so.
The Boy Leroy is really dominant for this Halifax team, and you have to say early carries from Rawsthorne and Saltonstall have got them on the front foot. So it's all about the kick again now, and how Bradford diffused that kick, and how Halifax impressed themselves upon with it.
Griggs lays it off. Worthington on debut. Last tackle, I think Halifax have just misread the referee's call there. Yeah. And Liam Harris in centre field, frustrated there, Brian. He was calling for the ball, and I don't think Greg Worthington realised what was going on in terms of where the tackle count was. But that's respite and relief for John Keir and the Bulls.
It is, and they've just got to grind their way into the game, Bradford, all their nerve. Clearly they got a last play assignment wrong there, Halifax, but they wouldn't be bothered. They've handed the ball over 8 metres from the Bradford line, so there's still a job of work to do for the boy Evans here, who's a great carry.
Evans carries Bradford just outside of their own 20-metre line here. Lilly in at dummy half to Brown. You suspect now with Jordan Lilly going in that dummy half role, things just starting to speed up again here from the Bulls. It goes towards Brough. Brough along the line to Murphy. Murphy puts a big big fending, but he's wrapped up there by Leroy, Braley, and also Harris in a 3-man tackle. Bradford are 5 metres shy of the halfway line. Danny Brough's appealing for a penalty or a 6 again. Referee Tom Grant ignores the pleas, and Steve Crossley's brought down on the 5th and last tackle. Just inside the Halifax half here. Danny Brough, a high hanging kick is going to be a tester for Scott Bricks, the elder brother of head coach Simon, and he is dealt with there by Evans and Rooks on tackle number 1.
Bags of experience.
And here we go, Brian. Here we go.
The result. Griggs has lost that. Referee Tom Grant says, mate, you dropped it. You can give me the puppy dog eyes all you want. You dropped it. So it's a turnover. Bradford, first time they've had any field position. Let's see what you've got, Bulls.
Could just see there, Griggs.
Incorrect play of the ball. I think he's adjudicated or he's dropped it.
In his haste, to play the ball there. And Bradford, they will have it just to the right of centre field. And as we've seen throughout the early stages of this season, you can have it 10 metres in, 20 metres in, or on the halfway line. Bradford, a chance to turn possession into points, but a forward pass there out of dummy half, and that's a self-inflicted error there, Brian.
Well, it's the fourth one, isn't it? 3 penalties up there and a self-inflicted forward pass. Sometimes it goes that way. You literally just have to roll your sleeves up and say, listen, when we get down there again, you have to say it did look slightly dubious, that ball, didn't they? Called from the touchy.
Well, Halifax are going to be given another penalty here because
they hit him off
Kevin
the ball.
Leroya has been taken off the ball. And
that was Boy Garside.
He's got a big decision to be made here. Tom Grant is looking for the guilty culprit from the Bradford Bulls here.
Well, I don't think he's in the mood not to make a decision because he's made 5 or 6 already. There's 5 of them against the Bulls. Let's have a look. Well, there's Leroya, passes out the back. Boom, yeah, it's late. And he didn't have the ball.
Yeah, a late hit there on Kevin Leroya. And Tom Grant is going to the back pocket, and Adam Rooks is going for 10 minutes in the sin bin. Adam Rooks protests, the former Hull Kingston Rovers junior, but Bradford are going to be down to 12 men now for 10 minutes, and Kevin Leroya receiving attention there. Well, we've just seen Adam Rooks. He actually started his career at the Holderness Vikings out there in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Lovely part of the world, but Adam Rooks protesting his innocence. But Brian, it's late. The referee has to protect the players.
Well, it was clearly late, and there's a fine line, just for our views, there's a fine line between controlled aggression, with that discipline, with that willingness to do everything right but everything aggressively, and then a cheap shot. I'm not suggesting it was a cheap shot. He got that wrong. He was late and he should have pulled out and was capable of pulling out of that. But all it does, it gives free field position. So all the energy and anger from being beaten last week and all the decisions that the coach has made, all the right decisions he's made to get next week right and to get this right, it just dissolves in a matter of minutes when you keep doing these kind of things.
Connor Robinson is going to find touch just shy of the halfway line, so Halifax, you suspect, will have a full set inside the Bradford half. Referee not happy that Greg Worthington has tapped that in the correct position. He is now, and worrying for John Kerr and the Bulls. They've conceded 6 penalties inside 15 minutes. Halifax's discipline immaculate, yet to concede anything, a penalty or a restart. Here goes Kevin Leroya. Just been held in the tackle there by Murphy, and the referee's going to say a knock on here, and that's a big decision there. There was a little bit of a delay in the tackle, but immediately after Adam Rooks sent to the sin bin, Halifax's chances have come to nothing.
Well, it's a great result for Bradford. Put piled numbers in here and are all over the ball carrier, and they'll feel slightly badly done to there, I think, the Panthers.
Yeah, looked like Kevin Leroya was being held in the tackle. Obviously the replays ever so slightly slowed down, and Bradford now awarded their first penalty of the evening here in the West Yorkshire sunshine here at the Tetley Stadium. Jordan Lilly just urging his side to just calm it down a little bit, and Jordan Lilly will find touch. So a huge opportunity here for John Keir's side.
Well, I'm with the boy Lilly, Mick. They've got to calm down. They've got to be aggressive. They've got to be fast. They've got to find some ruck speed to give Brough and Lilly the opportunity to open them up.
Bradford right in front of the Halifax post, looking for their first points of the evening here as it goes from Brough to Murphy. Murphy rolled backwards. He has to return and face the Halifax post. Doyle now to Brough. Good linking qualities there as it goes along the line towards Evans. Ben Evans, the former Toulouse man, He's rolled over on his back, 5 metres out. Bradford down by 8. Doyle tries to pinch one out of dummy half, but that black and yellow shirted defensive wall comes in and smothers him there, closes the line and the door, and Bradford have one tackle remaining here as Evans tries to pinch one. Has he got it down? Referee looks and says no, he's short. Last tackle here. It goes towards Brough. Brough to Lilly. Lilly over on this main stand side towards Pickersgill.
Wow.
Just a little bit too much there for Fogging Johnston, and that one has gone into the first row of the seats in this main stand, and that's a chance gone begging, a huge chance. Bradford running it on the power play, Brian, looking to catch Halifax in the corner, and well,
the skill wasn't good enough. I was surprised he had another dart at the line there, the boy Evans, but they do. So this is the last play. So the threat here is they think Danny Bruff's going to kick the ball, but they play on, and Pickersgill's the key here. He gets into the right place, but shoots a basketball shot over the top that Fogging Johnson can't reel in.
I think Bradford and John Keir, Brian, they might be looking at the scoreboard and thinking after the penalties and the amount of defending they've done, they'll be relieved that it's only 8-0 and it's something that they can work with as we approach the end of the first quarter.
Definitely. They've got to keep working hard in the ruck, and that's a penalty again. See, for our viewers, you can steal the ball one-on-one. So if you carry the ball as big as you are, Mick, at me, and you're bashing into me, and I take the ball off you, I'm thinking, yeah, I've got you there, mate. There were 3 in the tackle. Here's the earlier replay. Brough goes out the back to Pickersgill. Saltonstall's coming in off that right wing, so he stripped them for numbers. He just couldn't find the skill because he was under pressure. Another penalty to Halifax. What is it? 7-1?
7-1, Brian. 7-1 the penalty count.
Just gets you beat.
I just suspect if Pickersgill gets that a metre or so lower, Fogging Johnston on his first start in 2021, he's in at the corner. But here come Halifax on the back of that 7th penalty, and Tom Grant's patience is surely going to be wearing thin. I mean, we've had the professional foul with Adam Rooks in the bin, but these offsides, holding down, Tom Grant very keen here this evening in the early stages. Halifax though in good field position as Robinson marshals the side across the face of the post. Good link in with Harris. Harris
good
to
play.
Griggs is in. Griggs sold the dummy to Danny Brough, and he will improve the chances of Connor Robinson converting, because that one is around and underneath the post, and it's going from bad to worst here at the Tetley Stadium, because it's Bradford 0, Halifax 12.
I'm trying to find out what Bradford are doing here defensively. For Fogging Johnson, for me, is in the wrong spot. So it's a shift play. They go dig right into the line, which is good. Harris out the back to Griggs. It's the centre. It's McCombs, it's Ross Oates that's gone in, and Fogging Johnson's had to follow him, and they got the call wrong. So their edge defence there has got a bad call. So he goes into the line here. Does Robinson? Harris goes at the line, attracts defenders, and Oates tries and solves the problem along with Fogging Johnson, but they just miss their man. Oates, if he comes in there, he has to get Griggs, but Griggs, thank you very much, he's under the sticks. And that's the element of nervousness about the Bulls. Normally when they're composed and they'd handle that, they'd fold off, they'd come in from the inside. Well, that's a poor read from Oates.
Connor Robinson adds the extra 2 points from in front, 3 from 3. Immaculate with the boot here this evening. It's Bradford Bulls 0, Halifax Panthers 14. It's Mick Gledhill and Brian Noble on the Hour League this evening, and we just see the dummy there from Scott Griggs. Danny Brough was sliding across, but can't really be too critical there of Danny Brough, because he was the last line of defence.
Just for our viewers, the key to that play was Harris and Robinson, because they dug into the line, they engaged defenders, so the middle white jumpers, the middle big people, had to make a call on both those ball players. So the depth of line that they're going into created the space for Griggs. It meant that Oates and Fogging Johnson had to come a long way to close that play down, and they didn't do it.
Halifax, once again, very similar to how they started out against the London Broncos. A very early lead. The ball's come out in the tackle, and it's another penalty. Well, I don't want to keep count of the penalty count, Brian, but it's very difficult. It's 8-1 now, and Tom Grant has had enough, and Captain Steve Crossley's going to be spoken to, because this ill discipline cannot continue.
Well, he needs to speak to his players. There's a reason why he's blowing the P, Tom Grant. Nobody wants to see a referee blow the P as amount of times as he's doing now, but what it means for Halifax Panthers is they've had no work to do coming out of their own end. I can't remember one rucking set where they've had to fight hard to get to a kick. Bradford have 8 penalties. That's wolf. It gets any bit. You could stick the world 11 out, for 11, a world 13 out there. You ain't going to get a result with an 8-1 penalty count.
Well, and
it's in your control. That's my point.
Yes.
Those kind of things are in your control.
I was just about to say, Brian, these are all self-inflicted errors as Dan Murray now goes charging down the middle. Well, the message from the referee is the next one might be going for 10 minutes and joining Adam Rooks in the bin, but Halifax, they're looking for their third try this evening. 14-0, their lead as Leroy has brought down. The referee there urging Bradford back. They're all in front of the post there, and it's now 9 penalties. This is unbelievable here. I don't think I've ever seen a game like this, Brian, where after 23 minutes there's been 9 penalties.
Do you know what happens next as well? Danny Brough govs off at the referee, Grant, and somebody else has a word with him, Steve Crossley, and he just has no tolerance whatsoever.
Well, Halifax, they'll be growing in confidence here if they can breach the Bradford line. Kevin Leroy is dragged over there by Aaron Murphy and Dan Fleming, who's just come on the field here. So John Keir rotating the troops here a little bit earlier than he might have liked, but Halifax once again shifting that play over on that left hand side towards Rawsford can't get past Brown, and those red, amber and black and white shirted Bradford defenders come in and swarm the former Toronto man in. Back in front of the post now with Griggs to Braley. Braley's gone without the ball. That was better from the Bulls. Ross Oakes coming in, no advantage, and they now will run a bit of time off the clock because Adam Rooks has less than 60 seconds remaining in the sin bin. Well,
they got their assignments right there. They were panicking early on in the set, and the shift plays from Halifax left to right and right to left are troubling the Bulls. But they've got to dig in there. They've got to keep themselves. I think they've had 3 plays in the 10-metre line, towards the 10-metre line of the Halifax team, because of what they're doing to themselves.
Well, Bradford will just be hoping the game settles down. They've not really been in the hunt so far this evening here, as Dan Fleming now gives them a bit of impetus and a bit of direction. Doyle's in there at dummy half. It goes short towards Murphy. Murphy's made 20 metres down the middle. Offloads the ball to Crossley. Crossley, this is better from Bradford. All of a sudden looking very energised. Doyle now, he will try and go out of dummy half, which he does. He goes past Morris. He's looking for support. There's no one there. And Bradford are on the last tackle now, 10 metres out from that Halifax try line. It'll go to Danny Brough. Crossfield kick. Looking for Brown and Evans. Who's come up with the ball? It's Jordan Lilly. Jordan Lilly's in at the corner, and Jordan Lilly on his return to action for the Bulls. He has put the ball down in a similar fashion to what we saw from James Saltonstall. There was millimetres to spare between himself and going touching goal. Welcome back, Jordan Lilly. Well, it's 4 points, plays 14.
Well played, Jordan Lilly. He picked the scraps up of that competition in the air. Brough's nailed it. He's got some jumpers in the air, so it's a competition. Here you go. There's Brough's kick. Brilliant. Attack it. Rawson can't handle it. I think it's Evans that drops it, knocks it back, and Johnny on the spot is Jordan Lilly, who has to finish the play. Let's be honest. He's been swamped by Connor Robinson, but he just brushed him off and showed his desire and got in the corner. Well done, Jordan Lilly.
Adam Rooks is back out there on the field for John Keir's side, and Danny Brough will attempt this conversion from that far stand side. That is how important is that try, Brian? Because they've conceded 9 penalties. They've had Adam Rooks in the bin, but while he was in the bin, if this goes over, the damage is 6-6.
Yeah, it's a great result for the Bulls in relay, but they looked a bit more destructive in and around the middle. They found some ruck speed, which enables everybody to play on the front foot and get a kick away that Brough wanted to do. They absolutely marched them 80 metres down the field. You know, boy Doyle having a dummy half, causing ructions. Crossley linking with Murphy, and what a kick! He can kick a ball, can't he?
Danny Brough from the touchline. Well, when you look at someone like Danny Brough, who has over 3,600 points, this is actually game 499 for Danny Brough. So if he's fit and healthy next Sunday, when it's Bradford versus Dewsbury, game 500. Not many players have made 500 appearances, but Bradford have narrowed the gap, and we've got a game on our hands here. 13 out from half time, the deficit now down to 8.
Here's the precision that Brough gives to you. Huge leap from both Evans and Brown, they get the ricochet backwards, out jump Rawson. That's all you want from your kickers. You've got to kick the ball with a view to competing for it so you can get it back, or with a measure of control where you know what's going to happen with the restart. And they had to take a chance there, Bradford, and came up with a result.
Just heard a message being relayed from John Keir, who's down in the dugout there shouting energy. So John, very vocal here. He wants to see energy now on this restart as Adam Rooks, fresh out of the sin bin, gets a little bit of pain and punishment. Browning at dummy half. Lilly looks for those runners, finds Steve Crossley as Gadwin Springer, who's just come on the field here for Halifax, comes in and rolls over the Bradford forward. Doyle out of dummy half, straight down that middle channel. Good strong run there from Ben Evans, and he's up to halfway on tackle number 4 for the Bradford Bulls, and Bradford have a set restart. It's their first set restart of the evening, the first in the game incidentally, and it's come right on tackle number 4. So now Halifax are looking the side that is puffing and panting as Steve Crossley goes down that middle.
It's a running game. Bradford need a running game, and they've shown what happens and all the benefits they get when they find one. They've created the numbers here with Pickersgill. Oh, it should have got outside.
Pickersgill's brought down 10 metres out. Doyle's in there at dummy half, back in centre field to Brough. He'll pump the ball to Lilly. Lilly looks for that inside runner, and it's Rooks brought down, tackle number 4 on his back, a couple of metres out. Can Bradford go back to back here? Danny Brough in front of the post, displays it short there to Aaron Murphy, and Murphy's going to be brought down right on top of that Halifax line, and this is the 5th and last tackle. Doyle, it goes to Brough. Is it going to be more madness from the boot of Brough? No, it's not. Bradford on the power play. It goes to Evans. Evans tries to reach out. He's somehow got the ball backwards, but that's a good defensive read there from Matt Garside, and Bradford there trying everything to get back in this game. I think it was Brandon Pickersgill who was halted there by Matt Garside, but oh my word.
From the Bulls. It's better from the Bulls. Threats. Pickersgill goes outside early in that piece. They probably get over the line on this left-hand side. They're a threat. Brough's on the front foot, and it's all on the back of the big blokes doing their job in the middle and finding some ruck speed so that they can play.
Well, Bradford captain Steve Crossley, when I spoke to him earlier on in the week, Brian, he was saying that, they're ready to put in a big performance tonight, insists that the team are ready to put the wrongs right after that display against Sheffield, and there has been a lot of soul searching, and you might not have thought that inside the opening 20 minutes, but the last 10 minutes, oh boy, the Bulls have come alive, and we've got a real tight contest here as Halifax are just restricted there to 40 metres on their set of 6. It goes to Harris. Once again, that is an ugly looking kick. Pickersgill confident underneath it. Oh, I'll tell you what.
Great catch.
That was Keith Mumby-esque there as Pickersgill takes the tackle 25 metres out from his own line. Where's this game going, Brian, now? Bradford have wrestled that momentum back from the Panthers as Johnson, defogging Johnson, takes a trip there. Saltonstall's, I tell you what, Saltonstall's going in the back pocket here. The referee, I tell you what, Brian, he went straight to the back pocket. My instincts were he's seen it, he's going to make a decision. A huge sigh of relief for Simon Griggs and James Saltonstall. You can see the trip here. It's blatant on defogging Johnston, and Halifax now are down to 10. Oh, is it lucky, Brian? Could it have been red?
I think it would have been harsh. Fogging Johnson's just cooked him like a kipper, hasn't he? He just stepped him, real big step, and he's thrown a leg out and caught him. He knew straight away, so he knew he was on death row, so he was pleading for his life with the referee.
Oh, this is what you get from a Bradford-Halifax derby. Full-blooded, no holds barred, and Bradford now will look to potentially get their second try as Danny Brough, though. Good tackle from Paul Braley. Was it above the shoulder? Danny Brough, well, he gets to his feet, he plays the ball, and Bradford, well, they're playing to the whistle as they come over on this short-hand side, and Aaron Murphy is wrapped up now 8 metres out from that Halifax try line. 8.5 minutes to go here. This is the very best of the championship as Brough floats it out towards Lilly to Pickersgill. Pickersgill to Evans. Evans steps in. He fancies going himself. Back to Lilly. Lilly now floats it out towards Brown. And Brown, well, that run was halted and extinguished. And he's brought down 5 metres out now. This will be the 5th and last tackle for the Bulls. Can they turn possession into points? Brian says go left or go right. And it's another penalty to the Bulls because there's a shoulder tackle on Doyle there. And this is more pressure that Halifax are having to absorb now.
Well, they've got one in the bin. They've got the penalty from one in the bin. Bradford look threatening all over the place. They've got 6 players each. They play on here. Don't take the 2. Play on. Down to 12 men. The Panthers. There you go.
Steve Crossley will carry it in on tackle number 1. Doyle. Oh, good challenge there. He thought about it, decided to take the tackle, and Will Colcott come in and wrapped him up. Here goes Dan Fleming, has a tilt, the former Halifax Panther man, held up over the line.
He's got to be the biggest dummy half runner you've ever seen, Dan Fleming. He must be 6'5" and 17 stones. Fancied his chances though. Brough wants the ball here, and why wouldn't he? He's opened up many a defence. Here he is, Danny Brough.
Danny Brough caught high,
penalty.
And here we go. All of a sudden, Bradford now have had 4 penalties as there's a little bit of a conference call between the two sides. I tell you what, Tom Grant's had his work cut out this evening, but any referee who does a Bradford-Halifax game, Brian, always has. But I think Bradford now, Brian, John Keane will be saying, you've had all this pressure, you have to get points on the board. As Eben Skur and those pool table legs who's just come on the field here, he's brought down a metre out underneath the posts. Doyle to Brough. Brough,
got him.
The hands of a surgeon perhaps as he goes towards Pickersgill. Pickersgill, those brought down.
Great urgency from Halifax.
Good sliding defence. Brough now. Back to Doyle. It's a little bit of one-man rugby here from the Bulls. Doyle quick play the ball. Oaks out a dummy half. Twisting and turning. That run is halted, and don't forget, Bradford have a numerical advantage here. 13 versus 12.
Shift the ball.
I think Danny Brough just heard you, Brian. Fleming crashes on and over the line, and it's telepathic rugby league. They've clearly hit to you, Brian, and the gap is narrowed further still. 10 points to 14. That silly decision there from Saltonstall to trip Defogging Johnston costs Halifax daily, and it's the Bulls now. They have the head of steam, and well, I've got to say, Brian,
Game on. Game on, that's what it is, Mick. It's brilliant. Danny Brough gets hold of the ball. Too many one-out darts at the line trying to create. Here's the trip that caused the field position to go Bradford's way. It was a trip, not intentional, so probably 10 minutes is the right call. And here's Danny Brough saying, get out of that hole, give it to me in the middle. And he sees Dan Fleming hitting the biggest hole you've ever seen. And boy, he's too hard to stop there. Drags the Halifax over. That's the stress on the Halifax line when you've got a man out of the line. You happen to cover an extra space, and so people are panicking and finding it hard to find the runners. And Dan Fleming just says, give it to me, I'll get it over the line. Bit of space underneath the sticks. He won't miss this one, Danny Brough.
Dan Fleming there on his second spell at Bradford in his 150th career appearance, and Danny Brough adds on the extra 2. But how crucial is that to Bradford's fragile confidence, Brian, that was coming into this game, that after penalty, set restart, Halifax have a man in the bin, that they unlock that defence?
If at the right end of the field they'll score points with people like Brough and Lilly in their team and willing runners in and around the place. Pickersgill making the extra man, trying to outstrip Halifax defence, but they've ground their way into the team. They stopped giving penalties away, so they got some ball, and when they were carrying the ball in and around the middle, they were having impact. So ruck speed was enabled. Doyle to jump about 15 metres, Murphy makes half a break, Crossley's going through the middle, and Danny Brough and Jordan Lilly can pick up the bones out of that. And that's what they were trying to do at the start of the game, but they were so eager and so enthusiastic that was spilling over in the wrong way.
Fleming on the restart. He'll enjoy that one against his former club here. Just 2 points the difference as once again the call comes this time from the Bulls assistant coach Mark Dunning. He's calling for more energy as we head towards half time, of which there are less than 4 minutes remaining here, as it goes now from Brough to Pickersgill, out wide to Murphy. Murphy brought down by Zach McComb. Harris Briley comes in as well and is heading towards touch there, Aaron Murphy, and he's dragged into touch, and the referee has a look and it says he has lost the ball forward. He's released the ball as he was heading towards touch. Bradford appealing for a penalty, but it will be.
I tell you what, we've got no fans here, mate, but I've just seen 5 or 6 Halifax players high-fiving and whooping and hollering and dragging Murphy into touch there. There's lots on in this game, isn't there? They're loving it. Bashing each other, carrying the ball.
Oh, I'll tell you what, the heart, the desire, every one of those players out there You talk about spirit in the jersey, and now Bradford, after what must be close to 6 or 7 minutes of having ball in hand with those 2 tries, have got to do a bit of defending now. They don't want to concede after doing all that good work and getting themselves back in this game. As Jordan Lilly, it's the new rule. It's the new rule, and now Jordan Lilly has been poleaxed by Gadwin Springer, and now Fleming wants to continue, and it's exploded here at the Tetley Stadium. We knew it would do. There's a lot of local pride on the line at stake here, and Tom Grant now and the 2 touch judges, they have to try and short
I'm not too sure
out.
I'm not too sure there was anything wrong with the initial contact, unless he's hit him round the head, which I didn't see. I saw the impact. Well, you get a blow like Springer against Lilly, there's a mismatch, so if he gets you, it gets you good, and that can show real. And then a couple of Bradford players run in, which is, they're in that place, they're in that aggressive, we're looking after each other, we're an identity. Let's have a look at this. So it's not this one. So that's the Jordan Lilly strip. Well played, Jordan.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing. And here's Gadwin Springer. I don't know what's wrong with that. You have to.
I think he's saying left shoulder has connected with Jordan's head, and I think that's why the touch judge on this main stand side, who looks from my vantage point as the Australian referee, James Vella, he was in charge of Batley Oldham yesterday, and Gadwin Springer, Brian.
Let's have a look. Let's see what he does and what he doesn't do. So he pinches the ball. Play on. Gadwin's in that. Play on. So does he try and wrap his... I think it's his chest. Well, if he adjudicates that it's just his shoulder, doesn't he go to the bin?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Brian, I'm not sure. We can't really tell, but
off you go.
It's the protocols. You know, you use your shoulder, any part of the head. Oh, here we go. Well, we've had 4 sin bins in this first half. I hope everybody at home is enjoying this coverage on the Hour League app with myself.
Good. What's wrong with you? It's brilliant. Get stuck into each other.
So Dan Fleming wearing number 15, he leaves the field. He's been sent to the sin bin. Who would be a referee, Brian? Who would be a referee? What's Tom Grant saying to the 2 captains here?
Well, it's the people that run in that cause the schmozzle, if you like. So he'll be speaking about that and saying it's a tough game, it's a physical game, it's a local derby. The initial Springer one it wasn't an intentional head-high shot. He half hits him with his chest as well as his shoulder. He's such a big man. But it's now down, what is it, 11v12 now?
Yes, Springer in the bin, and of course, Solidstall still has just under 2 minutes to go, and at the end of this first half here, well, I tell you what,
shift play straight away. They've got 20 seconds here, haven't they? 30 seconds. One in for a shift play. Brough, Lilly, get it to the fringes. There'll be space out there. Come back against the grain if you have to with your back row, but there'll be spaces, but you have to move them around. There you go.
Seconds remaining here. Ebensker has gone without the ball. Look at Danny Brough and the body language communicating, trying to lift the spirits there with the final seconds of this first half coming to a conclusion. And what a first half it has been. We've seen Halifax, they were leading 14-0 inside 20 minutes, but it was almost like you talk about a game of 2 halves. It's a half of 2 halves, Brian.
The Bulls started looking after the ball and being a bit more impactful with it whilst they were carrying it, which got them some field position. And they got good players that can open up teams. And then I think the aggressive side of it, I think Halifax have been brought into it, and they didn't need to be into it because they were well on top, weren't they, with their discipline. But that aggression, that energy, that disappointment of last week that's with the Bulls, if they stick with the task, if they stuck what the coach is asking them to do with them, they get over the line twice.
Amir Brough has just come on for his Halifax Panthers debut. The clock says 40 minutes, but the timekeeper's still saying there's 90 seconds remaining at the end of this first half. So we've got 90 seconds, and I'm guessing that, Brian's, with all the stoppages and everything that the referees had to sort out. Last tackle here, Brough towards Robinson. That one's going downtown. Telegraph towards Brandon Pickersgill, who was inside the field of play. Halifax with Dan Murray and Robinson are going to try and drag him back in the in-goal area.
Bradford need to get back and shape up here and have a crack at Halifax, because there'll be a space if they can find a play. They're just relying on their outside back. They need great defence from Halifax. Great defence from Halifax.
Paul Braley, the former Rochdale Mayfield amateur, former Batley Bulldogs man. He's 6'7" and oh my word, the power behind him there. There was coal going in the furnace. And we've still got 60 seconds remaining, we feel, here at the end of the first half. And Bradford forced to concede the first goal line dropout. And Halifax have a repeat set at a crucial period in this game because James Saltonstall's just come back on the field. It's now 12 v 12.
Yeah, and that's why I was suggesting Bradford should have shaped to what I meant. But get behind the ball. Don't rely on Fogging Johnson and the boy Brown and then maybe Evans, because you lose your opportunity when you got a man up or two men up as they had. Shape up and put a play on that can challenge the fringes of the Halifax team.
Well, here we go. A crucial spell in this game here as Will Calcott, who made his debut in 2017 in a defeat to the Lee Centurions. Amir Bruff, the Siddle junior, now on loan from Wigan, gives it to Murray. Bruff fancies a tilt. Bruff towards the line, injects space, power held up on his back, but inside the field of play. We have 30 seconds left at the end of this first half, and it's a 6 again here because Bradford have delayed the play of the ball. So Halifax, time of the essence. It goes towards Griggs, now to Worthington via Robinson. Worthington can't get past Brown, and Brown rolls him over. 20 seconds remaining. Halifax with Matt Garside now. Brown once again a double tackle. Can Bradford hold on here? It's 12 points to the Bulls, 14 to the Panthers, and it's another set restart here for the Panthers. Their second in quick succession as Calcott somehow offloads the ball to Bruff, and Bruff now has brought down right in front of the post. 10 seconds remaining here at the end of the first half as it goes with a hop and a skip and a jump to Murray. Murray towards that Bradford try line is going to be held up. We look towards the timekeeper. Still there's time here remaining at the end of this half. Halifax, they might have one more play. What are they going to do on this? Because the time is ticking down. It goes towards Amir Bruff down the middle with Will Calcott. Still, everyone looks towards the timekeeper here. Entertaining stuff. Bruff to Robinson. Robinson to Worthington. Worthington's rolled over and he's lost the ball in the act Brilliant of trying to turn and keep possession. And there goes the hooter, Brian. We said Halifax might have had maybe one or two plays left. In the end, it's not the hooter that saves the Bulls. It's that tenacity, that vigour in defence, forcing Greg Worthington to spill the ball there. And what a crucial period that could be, Brian, because Bradford were under the pump. They were being pounded into oblivion. And if Bradford go on to win this game, I'm sure John Keir will be delighted with how Bradford have held their defensive line in the final 2 minutes of this half.
Well, they're in the ascendancy, Bradford. They're in the ascendancy. We've been hearing screaming, the assistant coach Ralph shouting, energy, 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 energy. And they finished that half. The last 20 minutes was all their energy. It got them to the right parts of the field and things started to happen. Once it cured their discipline problem, and we saw an example of that last 10 plays, there was two set restarts. We saw that energy being put into a structure and people making good decisions with it as well. So if you're coming in at half-time and John Keir, I'd be pretty confident we're going to go on with this game. If you're Simon Griggs, you're thinking we've got to go back to the start, not get bothered and get embroiled into this aggressive fight that Bradford won. We need to do our things.
Well, at half-time here at the Tetley Stadium, it is Bradford 12, Halifax 14. An unbelievable first half. We will certainly discuss the key incidents now, because it was Halifax quick out of the blocks. And just talk us through this kick, Brian. The camera doesn't do the kick the justice.
That was a kick from Murray, wasn't it? And Pickersgill ain't going to get anywhere near that. He doesn't get near the spoils. Murray kicks the ball on. He ricochets. It's just play on here. It's just Murray again finds himself with the ball in the halves and finds the pass for the boy Saltonstall, and he ain't going to finish from there. He's a brilliant finisher of the ball. So that's a great, on the back of an unbelievable spiralling kick. Watch this go up. Boom. Well, I'll tell you what, okay, this is not a criticism of Pickersgill. This is, do your best.
Do you reckon Keith Mumby would have dealt with that, Brian?
Yeah, definitely. He never dropped one. I never saw him drop one. He was too good. But yeah, you got to give full credit to the Panthers. They kept the ball alive. Ends up with Murray again. He finds a long pass to Saltonstall, but he still needs finishing here because Fogging Johnson's flying across. So we see so many good finishes now, don't we, in relation to rugby league? And that's another good one from Saltonstall. And they were in the ascendancy because Bradford's discipline was poor, you have to say, in the first 15, but going into the line, you got Murray and Robinson going into the line, Griggs, and unfortunately it's Foggin Johnson that looks awkward there, but it's Oates that makes the bad call because they're not working together. And when you're isolated like that and you don't get your man, so here we go, into the line Robinson, attracting defenders. Murray goes further into the line and stops players. Oates has misread it and gone way too far, and Foggin Johnson can't do anything about Griggs running underneath the sticks. So they look in complete control there on the back of poor discipline from Bradford. But they get themselves back. They run themselves back, they jam themselves back. Brough puts a competitive kick up, Brown leaps and knocks it back. Jordan Lilly's jolly on the spot and gets into the corner and scrambles in. Great finish, but that's on the back of a competitive kick from Danny Brough because he's in the right part of the field. There's no pressure on the kicker, he can put it on a sixpence. They out jump Nick Rawsthorne, and then Jordan Lilly said, I just got to get in the corner, get it down boy, and then he does.
A huge catalyst in Bradford's second quarter comeback in this first half, of course, is this incident here. I think we're going to see the trip from James Saltonstall. The referee went straight back. He went straight back to the pocket, Brian. Should that have been a red? Because to the letter of the law, you trip.
I think the emphasis on trips has changed. It used to be an instant send-off to the trip, but it gives them field position. We see Dan Fleming flying off the back of a short ball from Danny Brough. Brilliant. That's just about timing. They're a man down, remember. Halifax in this situation. Brough goes to the line, attracts a couple of defenders, and there's a big hole for Dan Fleming, and he's too big, too strong there. The big play we didn't speak about was the Lilly strip. He took it off him. Give me the ball. And those little momentum changes are brilliant. There you go. Jordan Lilly, boom, there, I'll have that one off you. Those are the rules. We saw one earlier where it was 3-on-1, and you can't do that, Danny Brough. Jordan Lilly takes the ball, and there's a penalty against Gadwin Springer, and everybody running in and wanting to fight. They just throw insults at each other now. They don't throw punches.
I was just going to say, Brian, you speak to the players, and when they see perhaps a little bit of afters on their player, it's that tribalism. They all come running in, and nothing too serious for referee Tom Grant to sort out. But what a first half! We've had 14 penalties. We've had 4 players in the bin. We've had 4 fantastic tries. Well, me and Brian are going to take a quick break, but here's the England training video from earlier on in the week with England head coach Sean Wayne.
Yeah, it's a great day. It was really intense, but it was good to get around the boys again, get around the coaching staff, and meeting Sean for the first time in person. We've had a lot of Zooms, but yeah, it was a great session.
No, it was great. It was great to meet some of the lads, new faces as well, I've not met before. So, first in the session, we've obviously done a lot on the Zoom. And Zoom meetings, a lot of video online, so it was actually great to meet everyone today and get some quality work done on the field.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good to get together, and it's always nice to put on an England, even if it's just a training shirt. Good to get together and obviously meet Sean as the head coach and kind of learn his philosophies and what he wants to do with us. And it was pretty basic session, but really enjoyable. And I feel like I got a lot out of it, and learnt new things off a new person, which is always good. Sean as the head coach has had so much success, and just got a little snippet into it today, and it was a really enjoyable session.
A good first get together. It's the first time I've been involved in one, and I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, seeing a different coach's points of view in a game and stuff like that, and how they go about stuff. Yeah, it's good, and it's something that I'll be looking to take back to my club. Everything we worked on today is something that I need to add to my game if I want to be in there at the end of the year. So yeah, still a lot to learn, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, massively. The coaches have made it clear what they expect for us individually and as a team from day one. And that was just transferred straight to the field there, and that was a fantastic session, and it was super sharp as it always is when you're training at international level, and good signs early on.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're training with the best in Super League as well, it's good, and it ups your levels. You have to up your levels, but it's good to like I said, the training with quality, and it's no surprise because the players are top quality as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. You turn up and you just know straight away. You're at England, and everything's high quality. you know, everything gets looked at. No small detail gets missed. Oh, it's you know, it's good. It's eye-opening sometimes, you know, to get a coach to look at the small details that you might miss sometimes. And yeah, this morning, all the small details, you know, got picked up on. So as a player, it's great because, you know, it helps you to improve and be a better player, you know, next day.
Yeah, first class, you know, super impressive coaching staff, obviously full of ex-internationals as well, which helps, and obviously their experience will help us as we go on to the World Cup as we go through the season. So, you know, high expectation, but high quality. We think we delivered that today.
Actually, in real life, us speaking to each other in real life, yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, it seems a bit like weird that we're actually speaking to each other, which is crazy. But no, really enjoyable. You know, got a lot out of the day, and it's going to hold us in good stead, I'd say.
Well, there we go. Half-time here at the Tetley Stadium. Once again, a huge thank you to this evening's match sponsor, and that is Ford, and you can always trust Ford, and also the club sponsor of the Bradford Bulls, which is Sedula. Well, we do apologise. Pre-match, we're having a bit of difficulty with the interviews, but earlier on, around about an hour ago, I caught up with head coach John Keir, and here is John's pre-match thoughts on this evening's game. John, you've had 2 weeks off now, and I think it's fair to say that you've done a bit of soul-searching amongst the playing group.
Yeah, I think we all have. I think priority number one was to look at the man in the mirror, and I think that's for everybody. And then once we've done that, we've had a look at ourselves as a group, as a team, as a squad, and we feel we've identified areas that we've done incorrectly, both in preparation and on the match day, and we've addressed that. So hopefully we'll be in better shape today, and we'll play much better. Fair to say you're looking for a response this afternoon? I've been looking for a response for the past 2 weeks, Mick. You know, I mean, we've been working hard. It's been a long 2 weeks, believe you me. It might have been 14 days, but it seemed like a very long 14 days, and it's because we've done so much self-examination, so much review, and then so much looking forward. Then that we've flipped it to try to look forward. So although we've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, it seemed a long 2 weeks in some ways and a very short one in others. So it's been a bit surreal, but obviously we had to do something drastic in order to attempt to rectify the indifferent performance that we had last time out against Sheffield. Jordan Lilly returns from some suspension. That's going to be a big lift to the side, easing a bit of pressure on that spine and in the halves. Yeah, it's going to be a big lift to everybody, to tell you the truth. I mean, you know, our spine, you'd have said at the start of the season, would probably be Hallis, Brough, Lilly and Pickersgill. Well, we still haven't got that, but we've got 3/4 of it. And that obviously I think makes us a much more competitive team and a much more organised team and a much more composed team. Couple of changes to the side for this evening's game with Halifax, John. I'm guessing that is on the back of what happened at Sheffield. It is, yeah. There's got to be casualties of a performance like that, and what you do, you turn to the tried and trusted and people who you know and you become familiar with, and you know they'll go out there and do that type of job. So yes, there's been casualties, and I don't make any bones about that. It's just been the way it is, and we had to do something. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. Well, we don't want to get what we got last time out, so we've done something different. And just finally, John, Halifax, Bradford, big, fierce local rivals. This is going to be another tough assignment for you. It's going to be very tough because Halifax played really well last time out against London. And you look at their team, and they've got some very experienced and very able campaigners who are very good at this level. So yes, it will be very difficult indeed. Again, there's an X factor in there, in that if we were playing Halifax in a derby on a day like this and crowds were in, this would be full and bouncing, and it ain't going to be. It's going to be empty. So that's an X factor that both I've just spoken to Simon Griggs, both Simon and Halifax having to deal with, and ourselves are having to deal with, and it does make it. That's the unknown factor as to who will react best when they're playing in front of empty stands. Thank you, John. Cheers.
Well, welcome back to the Tetley Stadium, and it's half-time here, and it is the Bradford Bulls 12, Halifax Panthers 14. A really entertaining first half here at the Tetley Stadium. Here we can see what's happened in round 2 of the Betfred Championship. I was actually at Mount Pleasant yesterday to watch Batley against Oldham, and I tell you what, Batley looked very sharp and very well marshalled. Very disappointing Oldham display despite their heroic comeback victory against Swinton in round 1. We know Toulouse, obviously due to the COVID-19 situation, London refusing to travel, so they were handed a mandatory 24-0 victory over the London Broncos. The evening game was another pleasing highlight for those who follow West Yorkshire Rugby League. The Dewsbury Rams, and Lee Greenwood, the head coach of the Rams, seeing his side keep their 100% start to the season with a 22-14 win over the Widnes Vikings at Norton Park there. And then earlier on this afternoon we've seen Swinton. They've gone down at Haywood Road by 36 points to 6, and that looks a real humdinger there, Brian, up at the recreation ground. Whitehaven, they've picked up their first win of the season against the newly elevated, or should I say newly promoted, Newcastle Thunder. So your old pal Dennis Betts up there in the northeast. So
northeast versus northwest fixture that right across the A66, is it?
Yeah, looks like they've had a good go there. Newcastle Thunder obviously had that remarkable come from behind draw against Widnes in round 1. Well, what is going to happen here in this second half? Bradford and Halifax, they are both out there on the field. If it's anything like the first half here on the Our League app, then you're in for a special West Yorkshire treat here this evening as Danny Brough gets proceedings back underway, and it will be Nick Rawsthorne who takes tackle number 1 on his own 20-metre line. Brian, it's that old adage, what have John Keir and Simon Griggs said to the sides at the interval?
Well, John Keir said your aggression was misplaced early on in this game. Your enthusiasm to get on the line, you're just getting your time run. Discipline yourselves up and play like you played in the last 20 minutes, because you're out enthusing the opposition. You're on top of the opposition because of the aggression you showed and the skill that Lilly and Brough brought to the equation towards the back end. Simon Griggs is saying, get to back to how you started this game. You were playing the ball quickly, you were kicking the ball well, you were making Bradford ruck the ball out of their own half on many occasions and winning the ruck more importantly. They let go of the game, did Halifax, because they were letting Bradford play the ball too quick in that last quarter of that first half.
And I'm guessing, as you say, Brian, discipline will be certainly high on the agenda for both coaches. For Bradford, it was in the opening 20 minutes. For Halifax, it was towards half-time, which ultimately saw Bradford come back into this fixture.
It's a game where you have to be aggressive, Mick, but you have to be smart as well, boys. That's a great carry.
Eben
Skir, get on. That should be 6 more as well.
Well, I look towards the referee. He declined, but Tom Doyle has been caught high there. And this is a penalty in front of the post, Brian. And John Keir has 2 fingers in the air. John Keir just stood to the left-hand side of me, and the kicking tee will come on for Danny Brough. Right decision at this moment in the game?
Absolutely. So from being nowhere after 20 minutes in the first half, Bradford have clawed their way back with their enthusiasm, their running game. Eben Skir there just smashed like a game of marbles. He smashed into 3 or 4 marbles and they went all over the place. So they deserve that advantage there, Bradford, because of Skir's determination on the run and finding his front.
Well, Danny Brough then, centre field position. Don't forget, we still have Dan Fleming and Gadwin Springer in the sin bin. It's 12 against 12. Danny Brough makes it 14 against 14. We're locked up, we're level on the Our League. Mick Gledall, Brian Noble here at the Tetley Stadium. The Betfred Championship, round 2. And it's that feisty, fiery West Yorkshire derby between Bradford and Halifax.
It's a good game.
I think this is why I exist, Brian, for games like this. This is why I exist.
If I'm Simon Griggs as coach, I'm a bit worried here, because I haven't seen anything in the last 20 minutes that going the other way, i.e. carrying a ball, an aggressive run or a great kick or something. I haven't seen anything. I think they're like rabbits in the headlights at the moment. I don't think that they're coping with the aggression and the energy of Bradford.
Well, Simon Griggs just bringing on Ed Barber there, the former Dewsbury Swinton man. He's been at Halifax since 2015 and ever present under Richard Marshall, and now Simon Griggs And Bradford now looking to get a bit of momentum going as somehow Eben Skers offloaded the ball here. And here goes Pickersgill. He's got Brown on the inside. Pickersgill takes it towards the touchline. Pickersgill's done him. And Pickersgill's going towards the corner. And Brandon Pickersgill, he's going to go the distance here at the start of the second half. And it is a miraculous score from Brandon Pickersgill. His first try of the season. And the 24-year-old. Oh my word, who knew Brandon could run like that?
I don't think Brandon knew he could run like that, but he was gone and he got in the clear and he wasn't. And it's Eben Skers again. He's had 2 involvements in this game. He got an offload there. Lily finds Pickersgill. He finds the outside side. I'm going to take you on. I'm going to take you on. You know what? I'm in front of you and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going and plant that ball down. Brilliant try from the Bulls. Eben Skers. He's had 2 involvements at the start of this second half and it's got Bulls completely on the front foot.
I was just going to say, Brian, Eben Skers somehow offloading that ball. There was 3 Halifax defenders in close vicinity. They were struggling to get back, but Brandon Pickersgill, wow. We know he scored a length of the field effort against Hemel Stags a couple of years ago, but who knew Brandon could take on Scott Griggs and Nick Rossford and also Greg Worthington on this Maidstone side. Credit to Joe Brown, he was in support on the inside, but Pickersgill didn't need him. Now, Danny Brough, can he add an extra 2 points on? Oh, the radar's just ever so slightly clinked and switched off, but it's Bradford 18, Halifax 14, and you cannot take your eyes off this one. Look at this from Eben Skers. Bang!
Smash. Finds Jordan Lilly. It is Jordan Lilly, isn't it?
Yeah, Jordan Lilly.
He finds Pickersgill. 2 people on his inside in support. Goes round Griggs. Rawstone can't get back because he's got to jump on him. They're in a bit of free fall here, Halifax. They've had no ball and they're being bashed. The aggression of what they're showing. Here he goes again.
Oh, Eben Skers, fearless, carries it forward. And Eben Skers brought down there on the 20-metre line. I tell you what, this Eben Skers, I've watched him from when he was in the Bradford under-16s. He has a real bright future ahead of him and he's still developing, only 20 years of age. Here goes Joe Brown out of dummy half, straight into Leroyer and Murray. Rolled over, 10 shy of the halfway line. Bradford now, it's all about them dictating the pace of the game as once again Doyle goes out of dummy half, straight towards Worthington and Calcott. And Bradford on tackle number 4 now. They're inside the Halifax half. It goes from Lilly to Crossley. Crossley legs down, pumps the ball forward. Good defensive line speed on that tackle there from Halifax. Amir Brough disrupts it for a few seconds. Brough on the last tackle. That one's going down towards Rawsford. Rawsford takes it comfortably on his own try line and he will meet Adam Rooks and Rhys Evans head on. And that's a silly penalty there by Adam Rooks because he just delayed the play of the ball. So Halifax have their 3rd set restart and now Halifax will look to wrestle that momentum back from the Bulls, Brian.
They've had no ball, Halifax, and so they'll be hoping that they get a spell where they can get some ball to show what they can do. But the aggression from the Bulls at the moment and their determination to get... I have to reinforce to our viewers this is a short field. So if you're patient and you carry the ball well enough, you're not going to be under too much pressure when you handle the ball over. You can kick it in the limit there. Certainly when you've got Lilly and Brough in your team, you can kick the ball well enough. That's a good play.
Harris,
brilliant.
Inside support there from Saltonstall. Pickersgill wraps Saltonstall up, but Halifax now, the Panthers are purring here as Amir Brough out of dummy half. They go to Harris. Harris back on the inside there to Calcott. And Calcott somehow offloads the ball back to Amir Brough. And Brough goes past one. Amir Brough is in a try on debut. He is held up on the 5th and last tackle. Heroic defence there from the Bradford Bulls, keeping the line and scoreboard intact. It goes in centre field to Robinson. Crossfield cat looking for Rawsford. Rawsford's juggled it forward. Referee says first knock on from Nick Rawsford, the former Toronto man. Pushed the ball forward. The ball went dead in goal, and the referee is going to say that will be a tap, a play the ball in centre field. Brian, Bradford living dangerously there.
I'll tell you, the biggest threat is 22 from the bench for Halifax, Amir Brough. He's killing it. Just a bit of ruck speed, and he's alive-wise like lightning. And they had to scramble really hard there, Bradford, and remind them of the fact that they're still in the game. It's been all them for the last 25 minutes, either side of the half. Do your simple things as well, but run the ball, get the ball down the other end. Understand they've still got some threats, this Halifax Panthers side.
Well, after the debacle in Doncaster, certainly when I heard from Steve Crossley during the week about they've had hard, honest words, and they know that they can do better, and they have been tough on each other over the past 14 days in training, and certainly from what we've seen here this afternoon, despite the opening 10-15 minutes, it has been a big performance. But now we've just seen a little bit too much on that kick. It let Bradford set their defensive stall out on their own 30, but Halifax, crucially, that extra tackle.
7 tackle set. Ruck the ball up there, get you 10 metres, all of a sudden you're at the other end of the field. Hold your nerve. On the fields like this, you have to hold your nerve and understand that you may get nowhere for 3 players, but that extra player will get you into a place that you want to be.
I was just going to say, Brian, the referee in the tackle previously give Halifax another set restart. I've seen that happen in Super League a lot. If you're going to give a set restart, you might as well give it early on in the tackle count.
And that's what teams have worked out, coaches have worked out. Try and slow the ruck down, you might get away with it.
It's Brough towards Robinson. Robinson pushed back by Adam Rooks. What can Amir Brough do here now? 20 years of age, 4 appearances for Wigan back in 2019. Didn't really feature last year due to COVID-19, but looking for a big year on his season-long loan at the Shea in 2021. Briley will get to his feet, he'll play the ball, 20 metres out. Down the middle it's going to go with Elliot Morris. He had a try in that 8-try victory over the London Broncos back in round 1. Last tackle, says referee Tom Grant. There's Harris on the left. Sorry, there's Robinson on the left. Harris on the right. It goes to Robinson. Robinson kicks downtown towards Rorsford, and Joe Brown's taken out there by Greg Worthington. And Bradford now awarded another crucial penalty that will see them kick the ball upfield.
And this is 3 metres for the Bulls because they've done pretty much everything right in that set, haven't they, Halifax, other than score the try. They find a competitive kick at the end. Rawsthorne on Brown. Brown comes up with the goods and is fouled in goal, so it's 3 metres for the Bulls. And another example that started off as a 20-metre restart for the Panthers. Now you hold your nerve and they ended up kicking the ball in the Bradford 10, so stay patient.
Well, I've just seen Levi Nzongu come on the field for Eben Sker, and certainly when you talk about an opening 10 minutes, what a performance from Eben Sker right at the start of this second half. And of course both Dan Fleming and Gadwin Springer are out there on the field now, so back up to 12 on 12 as Bradford have come up with a costly error there and didn't make it to tackle number 1 again.
That's
Brian,
the boy Rooks.
That's self-inflicted.
The boy Rooks was intent on putting the half into this next second row of the stand, I think it was, or was it Worthington? He's trying to impress his muscleness instead of just getting down and playing the ball quickly, and he dropped the ball.
Well, the referee is going to say Bradford head and feed.
All right, that's a strange one. Confident he dropped the ball there, Rooks.
Dan Fleming on tackle number 1 there. The game just setting into a bit of a pattern, you feel here, as Pickersgill, lovely line ball there towards Oakes. Oakes back on the inside, finds a support there from Pickersgill, but Springer wraps up Pickersgill, and Bradford, their run is halted. Doyle in at dummy half to Levi Nzongu. Levi Nzongu looks to offload the ball, but he's immediately wrapped up there by Springer and Brough, the 2 Halifax Panthers defenders. Now it goes from Doyle to Crossley. Good line ball there to Fleming. Fleming rolled over on his chest, right in front of the Halifax posts here. Down the middle they go with Steve Crossley. Crossley to Brough. Along the line it goes to Murphy, to Lilly, to Defogging Johnston. And Defogging Johnston, it was a flat ball. The referee will give it, and he will point the finger, will Tom Grant. And Bradford have crucially come back off the canvas. It's now 22 unanswered points, and crucially for John Keir and the Bulls, they have that crucial 2-score difference.
And they have composure, and they have set plays, and they have... Here you go, it's a right to left shift, and it's just they're just too slow off the line, the Halifax defence. In the ascendancy, carrying the ball really well. Nzongu and Crossley going on the line. Brough saying he understands the need to release everybody early. And is it Pickersgill that releases Fogging Johnson right at the death? But they make the numbers, they create the space, understood space. Here you go.
I think it's Jordan Lilly with the assist.
Yeah, well, it's Brough. No. Yep, Jordan Lilly goes at the line. Well played. Bit of a head scratcher maybe. Was it forward, wasn't it? But the referee didn't think so. The toucher didn't think so. It's Jordan Lilly playing that role as a fullback there, coming into the line and releasing Fogging Johnson.
Danny Brough from the touchline. 4 from 5 attempts this evening. And on the Our League platform with myself, Mick Gledall, and Brian Noble, what a West Yorkshire humdinger this is turning out to be. Bradford 24, Halifax 14, as we see Murphy to Lilly. Lilly, oh, I tell you what, Brian, I think that's a forward pass.
And me, but it isn't on the look at the scoreboard, is what Jordan Lilly's going to say.
Very, very difficult for the officials to spot it at that speed. But the touch judge, James Feller, on the far stand side, he was in the perfect position and he ran to the end of the dead ball line and told Tom Grant it was A-OK. And Tom Grant, the Leeds official, pointed the finger. Bradford 24 unanswered points in this one. Halifax fading badly here. They now need to find and search for a catalyst, just like Bradford did in that first half. As Rooks to his feet, plays the ball. Lilly in at dummy half. Looking lively, Jordan Lilly. Look at him communicating, directing, putting Doyle in there. He says he wants a running forward as he kids the Halifax defensive line. And here goes Jordan Lilly. Jordan Lilly tries to pierce past Worthington and Robinson. They're 10 metres inside the Halifax half as it goes back towards Danny Brough. This is a difficult one for Saltonstall. Pickersgill's knocked it forward. That will be the zero tackle, and Halifax no advantage from the Pickersgill knock on, although Dan Fleming's picked the ball up and put it down. It's a knock on from Pickersgill, and that will see Halifax have a 7 tackle set from their own 10 metre line.
They're in shock here, Halifax, and it needs a couple of their senior blokes to turn around and say, listen, this is how we'll get to the other end, and then we need to restrict Bradford's composure at the moment because they're aggressive. They go forward is good. Bradford, they're in control in and around the ruck. Complete difference to that first 20 minutes, but sometimes you need to measure that aggression.
Halifax have got away with a forward pass there from Brough towards Calcott. Quick play the ball, and here we are. This could be the catalyst because it's Saltonstall straight out of dummy half, trying to win a penalty for markers not square. Crossley's nearly lost the shorts there, and Rooks has to be pulled off the back of Saltonstall as he wants to get a quick play the ball in. Here goes Gadwin Springer, 28 years of age, the French international, 5 appearances. He is brought down inside enemy territory, 5 metres inside the Bradford half. Levy Nzongu just holding on there until the referee's call as Harris takes that defensive line on, but Murphy, a lot of experience there, the former Huddersfield man. Last tackle here for the Panthers. Robinson, left-footed kick, looking to put pressure here on Brown. Brown, great take under pressure because Worthington and Rawsthorne and also Kevin Leroyer, they were looking to put the Bradford winger under a lot of pressure there, but that's an important play in its own right. Great attack, but equally great defence.
Brown's been brilliant under the high ball, offensively and defensively, so that's the reason why everything's coming into place for Bradford, their energy and their enthusiasm. I'm a bit disappointed if it was Halifax that Rawsthorne needs to get up and compete for the ball.
Well, the discipline clearly improved here in the second half. Levy Nzongu charges towards those black and yellow shirts of the Halifax Panthers as Tom Doyle, well, he has done the full 56 minutes and Billy Jowett's going to come on the field, and Jordan Lilly using that game management there to find touch, find space, and that will ask questions of Halifax's offence from around about 85 metres out. But
I'm not seeing anything in the Panthers team that's going to speed this game up for them, and that's what needs to happen. I'm seeing them walking back to this restart, albeit I don't know how long's left, 20 minutes here, a bit longer. They haven't got that much time. They've got to get themselves to the right parts of the field and find some answers in and around the ruck, because the Bradford defence has stepped up. They're more efficient in the tackle. They're winning the ruck. They're not letting Halifax get on the front foot. The only time they look like doing that is with little trick plays around the ruck with Braley and Amir Brough concocting something.
There's Braley there, all 6'7". And it's a 6 again. Bradford have chanced the referee's arm, and this could be the catalyst as we fast approach the hour mark. 5 set restarts for the Halifax Panthers this evening as they look to overturn a 10-point deficit as they move the ball just to the right of centre field. Brough's in there at dummy half. Here goes Harris taking that line on. Delays the pass there to Robinson. Robinson just outside the Bradford 20-metre line. The 2 sevens meet, and number 11 Rooks there, just coming in for good measure. Here goes Brough straight out of dummy half. He's like a cannon. Oh, he's charging towards that Bradford line. And he's 10 metres out. Crucial period coming up here. Can Halifax get back in this game? As Robinson lays it off to Springer, and Springer's through. Gadwin Springer somersaults his way over the line, and that was the catalyst for the Halifax comeback. It's 24 points to 18.
Well, extra pressure, a little bit change of direction. I think it's Murray that drops Gadwin Springer back on the inside, so it's a change of direction, and he just breaks the tackle. And that close to the line, they've got a bit of ball. They're back in this game. There you go. It's Robinson actually that goes the line, drops him off, so tips him back against the grain, and there's a missed tackle there in the middle. I think it's Doyle, isn't it? That's thumping the earth. No, it's not Doyle. It's it's Adam Rooks again. That's thumping the earth. Here you go. So Halifax in the right place. Robinson going out the line. He doesn't want to give it to him. Gives it to Springer. Rooks misses the play. Steve Crossley can't get back, and he's too big and too strong from there for Pickersgill.
They'll be a little bit disappointed there, Bradford, that one has gone in, but credit to Gadwin Springer, the former Toronto Castleford and Catalans forward, as Robinson adds the extra 2. 4 from 4 for Connor Robinson. He had over 550 points.
This is all on, Mick. They're screaming. The 12 people we've got in this stadium are screaming the house down.
Brian, do you think they put it on a show because they know the great, bountiful Brian Noble and the game caller are in the house?
No, I think that's the last thing on their mind. I think when your breakfast is going sideways when these blokes hit each other, they're not thinking about anybody up in the stand. They're thinking about, how do I get off this field in one piece?
Oh,
it's in the balance because they've not been in the game this second half.
This
Halifax.
game is absolutely fascinating. We've just hit the hour mark here, and nobody knows which way this one's going to go now, because that pendulum has just ever so slightly gone away from the red, amber and black to the black and yellow of the Panthers. Here goes Springer, the try scorer. He wants more. He's still going. Springer looks for that support, finds the support, and here goes Saltonstall inside support to Harris. Perhaps a try-saving tackle there from Evans, because if Harris evades Evans, he's got daylight in front of him. It still could result in back-to-back scores here for the Panthers, because he's lost the ball. That was stolen, although the referee will say there was 2 in the tackle, and that will be a penalty in front of the Bradford posts. But at 24 points to 20, they're down by 4.
They'll play on. Was there 2 in the tackle? Yeah, there's 2 that
Murphy's just come across.
Just come across, so it's a fair call. I think they're going to play on. Springer's come to life in the last 5 minutes.
He's that catalyst, Brian.
A catalyst. Is it a catalyst? And I tell you what, on the back of the substitute, Amir Brough, is it?
Yeah.
He's killed it, hasn't he?
Amir Brough, yeah.
Killed it.
Wow. Unbelievable. You know, we talk about catalyst chemical reactions, Brian, something that can give Halifax a pick-me-up. Gadwin Springer's come on and he's literally bulldozed the Bulls' defence, and Bradford now, after leading and scoring those 24 unanswered points, the game could be about to turn in favour of the men from the Share. What a fantastic final 19 minutes or so we have remaining here at the Tetley Stadium, once again on the Our League platform. 24 plays 20. Here goes Harris to Robinson. Robinson tries to plod his way past Rooks. Jowett comes in with Lilly as the second and third men, and they're just outside the Bradford 10 here. Robinson will play the ball. Brough now towards Springer. Dumped on his side, not quite above the horizontal, so legal. But the big hits, the big tackles, the thunderous tackles. Fisher, Harris now goes back towards Robinson. There's a chance here if he kicks ahead. That's come off a Bradford arm, and it's back to 6. And the referee, he's got a call from the touch judge, Brian. Which way is this one going?
Good call. I think he's going to give it to Bradford.
Well, the touch judge has come on here. I thought I saw a knock on there I think he's giving it to Bradford. Well, this is a crucial call.
Well, that's off his feet, not off his hands, and that is... Yeah.
Have I seen a knock on from anyone there, Brian?
No.
Well, Bradford have the ball there, and it's still 24 points to 20 here. Who is about to become a hero in the closing embers of this one? Still a long way to go. And don't forget, Brian, you've got So you've got to pick the Our League man of the match out of all this as Jowett goes from dummy half, the former Wakefield Trinity Academy player. He will look for a similar impact to what Amir Bruff has done for the Panthers as Lilly fires it short towards Evans, and Evans is up just shy of halfway here on tackle number 4. Rooks is down in back play, receiving a bit of attention as Fleming comes on for Crossley. Bradford's 6th interchange of the evening as Bradford on the last tackle, 5 inside the Halifax half. Danny Brough calls for the ball in centre field. Brough gets the ball. Oh, it's a bit of a wobble. It's going back towards the halfway line. Halifax have touched that in flight. Referee says back to 1. Bradford have kicked it forward. No advantage. Bradford have earned a very fortuitous repeat set here, Brian. 40 metres out from the Halifax line.
He's saying the Halifax player played at it.
I think Harris. I'd like to see a replay. Yeah, I think it's saying He's saying to Liam Harris it has just touched the arm.
I think he's got this right, the referee. Let's have a look. So here's Danny Brough who miskicks it, so that goes straight up. Can't hear anybody there. Harris is in the frame when it bounces. Did he play at that?
Well, the referee has given Bradford the benefit of the doubt. I did say it was a rather fortuitous incident that has benefited the Bradford Bulls. Can they potentially look to close out this game with a try here? They're in good field position. They've not been down this end of the field for a good 10 minutes now. Jowett to Fleming. Lilly. Brad England, the former Doncaster man. Oh, big collision there with Worthington. Isn't this amazing? Here goes Pickersgill. He's like lost in a maze there, and here comes Springer to say, you're not going that way, mate. The door's shut, and he's wrapped up underneath the post. 5 metres out. Jowett to Brough. Brough to Murphy. Oh, he's got the ballerina feet. Murphy is still going, is Murphy. And he's gone in front of Jordan Lilly and Ben Evans. And that is a shepherding, that is crossing. And Halifax are awarded their 11th penalty.
Oh, Worthington's really smart here. He knows that Murphy's a chance of stripping him for numbers, and thinks I best make myself a bit vulnerable, and jumps out the line and finds that obstruction. Been real smart there, Greg Worthington.
15 minutes remaining here. Braley carries Halifax on their first tackle. I think both coaches, they've gone through the emotions here, and they still might, because there's a long time to go in this one, as we see a run here from Elliot Morris. Morris brought down 10 metres inside the Bradford half. Here goes Calcott. Murphy comes in. Bradford having to scramble back here. This is where that fatigue and tiredness perhaps could play a crucial part. Somehow Springer has put the fend on Jowett, offloaded the ball to Robinson. Robinson's kicked a little bit too early. The ball is live and Halifax have a chance to score, and they are going to score in at the corner, and the referee is going to give the try, and Halifax have drawn level. This miraculous, amazing advert for the Betfred Championship continues to reach new heights. 24 points to 24, and it's Kevin Leroy, the former Bradford man.
What are Brown and Evans doing in the defence? That ball's ricocheting around way too much. It's bounced. It's a brilliant kick from the boy Murray, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. It's Robinson that finds it. Springer again being influential with the offload, so they're playing on, and then Robinson has the ball, sees some space behind, kicks the ball. Deal with it now, Brown. Bat it out. Don't try and catch it. You're under too much pressure. So Pickersgill and Brown get it wrong with each other. It ricochets up, and Kevin Leroy thinks, yep, thank you very much. This is a wow of a game.
I don't want it to stop, Brian. I don't think the players want to play till midnight, but
no, I don't want to play till midnight. I need my tea to have.
Just see there.
Great kick from Robinson. What's it? And he's under pressure from Rawstorm. They make a hash of it, Pickersgill and Brown. But Leroy is too strong there, isn't he?
Huge kick coming up here for Connor Robinson. Potentially this could decide the game, and from the touchline, Connor Robinson under the pressure and perhaps the weight of West Yorkshire on his shoulders. It is Bradford 24, Halifax 26. This game, it's going one way and then the other. Oh, Brian.
There's still 10 minutes to go. This could have been another 2 tries either way. 13 minutes to go.
My only regret is the fans not able to be inside the stadium, but once again, let's praise the Our League app and the Rugby Football League for their hard work in developing the app and the platform. It's certainly been a long time you know, since clubs like Bradford, Halifax are receiving this level of TV streaming coverage, which is hopefully showing those people watching live or catching up on the highlights just how good a product the Championship and dare say League One, when League One starts next month, are going to be as competitions. I mean, this is rugby league at its brilliant, beautiful best, and Halifax now, they have the spring in their step. And Amir Bruff he's managed to evade Ben Evans there. He's still going for more, his young Amir Bruff. 20 years of age, what a bright future he has. If there's any Wigan Warriors supporters joining us this evening on the Hour League. Mick Leddell, Brian Noble, we've just seen 2 quick tries from Springer and Leroy, and Halifax lead by 2 here as we approach the final 10 minutes. Halifax on that 5th and last tackle. Bruff to Harris. Harris, a perfectly weighted kick. He will target Defogging Johnston. Halifax knock the ball forward. No advantage, and that's a turnover. But I guess if you're going to turn over the ball, Brian, you turn it over 10 metres out from your opponent's line.
Well, he needs to catch at the centre. He's got a free jump there. Bradford let him jump and have that ball, and he's knocked it on. So they've got to restrict territory now if you're a Halifax Panthers player, and Bradford have to find that enthusiasm and energy that was finding the space around the middle and enabling them to make breaks other parts of the field. This guy with his footwork can help, but it's a big better effort in the middle from Springer.
Fogging Johnston on his first start of the season, scoring Bradford's 4th try there, gets to his feet and he'll play the ball, and Bradford just lacking a little bit of energy on this set.
Just for our viewers, the ruck is slower, and you can't play, nobody can play unless somebody cracks the line, finds a quick play of the ball, then you can go at this Halifax Panthers defence. And that's what's brought Halifax back into the... Springer's found some ruck speed along with Amir Bruff finding his plays as well on the back of that, and that's what's brought them back into the game.
Referee says the last tackle as Ben Evans is halted 5 metres inside the Halifax half. Back to the ever reliable Danny Bruff. Bruff, a high hanging kick. There's been a push from Aaron Murphy there on a Halifax player, but that's a great tech there by James Saltonstall, the Italian international former Warrington man there. Had to put his body on the line. And with exactly 10 minutes remaining, as Nick Rorsford somehow has offloaded the ball here to Harris, and Harris looks for the support. That's a high tackle there on Zach McComb. He had a debut to savour against London in round 1, a try and 2 assists, and he has just been caught high above the shoulders there.
I tell you what, Halifax has done really well all the game is find an extra pass in and around the ruck. So on a half break, they've had either Bruff or anybody, the full-back, Pickersgill, Saltonstall as it was there early in the game, Amir Bruff as well, finding that extra play. It happens to be McCrone there that in the end the Bradford defence is scrambling after throwing an arm out to get a result.
It has been frenetic and fast-paced, just when you feel Bradford perhaps are just suffering a little bit of tiredness and fatigue. It has been a Herculean effort. Certainly, Brian, there was questions about pride and commitment and desire. Well, Bradford have answered those, whatever happens in the final 10 minutes. Both
teams, the effort's been excellent, and the commitment, and if nobody can question it, either team's commitment tonight.
Well, Halifax on the back of penalty number 12. This could be the most crucial penalty given by the referee this evening, because Halifax have a full set of 6 30 metres out. If they potentially can get try number 5, that could open up a 2-point cushion, and with potentially 2-score cushion, in the final 10 minutes. Here goes Harris to Murray. Murray can't get past Fleming. 2 former teammates there. Murray brought down 15 metres out, just to the right of the centre field position. Back in front of the post to go. Harris, Robinson. Oh, it was like poetry there from the Panthers, but Bradford come in and suffocate and extinguish that threat. Worthington out of dummy half. It goes to Robinson in front of the post. Promotes the ball there towards Morris. Morris. Did he go behind his own man, Dan Murray? Referee thought about the penalty there. The whistle was certainly in the lips. He allows a very generous advantage. Can the Panthers put the game to the bed? It's on the power play. They need to get a kick in. They've lost the ball forward. And the referee is going to say, that is it. That's all she wrote. The power play's over. Bradford keep their line intact.
Well, the play before stumbled them, because he was going to give a crossing penalty, a shepherding penalty, and he'd surrendered, so the referee let him play on. Then they didn't want to do on the last play.
This is where Bradford will be looking to up the tempo and try and make some yardage forward. despite that purple patch at the start of the second half with those 2 quick-fire tries from Pickersgill and Foggin Johnson. They've been down here. Was that a high tackle on Jordan Lilly? It was. And this, Brian, this is a huge moment in this game because Bradford are going to find touch inside the Halifax half.
He's come up with some big plays today, Jordan Lilly, hasn't he? The one-on-one steal, the kick down the short side, the play when he offloaded after the Sker carry. He's been very influential.
Well, for those that listen to me regular on local radio, when the game's like this with 10 minutes to go, here's the famous strap line. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going the distance. There we go, I've said it. Just had a quick message from someone who said, where's the strapline mix? So there we go. Those that are watching, you're getting the enjoyment. Here goes Levi Enzongu. Oh my word, how much energy, how much petrol is left in the tank. Levi Enzongu's made 15 metres after contact there. Bradford looking for the try that'll put them back in front. Short delayed pass there from Brough to Oakes. Oakes is brought down 2 metres out, right on top of that Halifax line. Oakes gets to his feet, he'll play the ball, goes from Doyle to Brough to Fleming down the middle.
We've seen that play before.
We have seen that play before. This time it's not Groundhog Day for the Panthers. Will Doyle go himself? No, he won't. He'll go to Ben Evans. And Ben Evans, the 30-year-old, rolled over right on top of that Halifax line. Look how close Bradford are here. This is the 5th and last tackle. The game in the balance. That's a penalty because Kevin Leroyer was nowhere near back the 10. And Bradford, Brian, do you take the 2? John Keir.
Yes, you do.
John Keir shouting. Two, take the 2.
John Keir just had a heart attack because he thought they were going to tap it.
I don't know if my heart, Brian, you might have to take over if we go to Golden Point, but wow. There we go. No complaints. Kevin Leroyer had clearly moved. It'd be a 5-yard penalty, false start if we're playing in the NFL. And Kevin Leroyer there, just a little bit too quick off the blocks. But Danny Brough.
There's certainly been a yellow flag on the play, wouldn't
yes,
it, Nick?
Definitely. Oh, I'll tell you what.
Tim Grant's thrown enough yellow flags tonight, hasn't he? What's the penalty count?
8 to Bradford and 12 to Halifax. 20 penalties in total. Danny Brough adds a crucial extra 2 points. Well, strap yourselves in. We might be going the distance on the Our League platform this evening. This Betfred Championship thriller, 26 points apiece.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Golden Point. I'm thinking Golden Point.
No, I think there'll be an opportunity for a drop goal. Now, who's written the script tonight? Who's going to write the script? Who's going to drop a goal? Who's the king of drop goals in the Super League? And who is it?
Connor Robinson. He has got a couple in his career. Jordan Lilly has 5 in his career for the Bradford Bulls. Who could ever forget Jordan Lilly's drop goal in Golden Point extra time a couple of seasons ago when Bradford come back from the dead and beat Featherstone 27 points to 26. Could that scoreline repeat itself here this evening? 26 points apiece here.
I'm thinking more Danny Brough. Did I miss a trick? Has he never kicked a drop goal?
He has, Brian. And I think we'll go back to 2005 with the reunion at the Millennium Stadium with him and John Keir. Here we go with Evans, Doyle. Bradford need the yardage to get in position for Lilly or Brough. Here goes Pickersgill to Oakes. Oakes, lovely offload there to Pickersgill who called for it. Great work there from Brandon Pickersgill. Steps back in field. It's a very short field here. We might see one from outside the 40-metre line. Here goes Levi Enzongu. Head down, just doing that punishment and pain. Bradford on the last tackle. Are they in field goal range? It goes towards Danny Brough. Danny Brough happy that this is not the set, but he's going to look to put pressure on Saltonstall. Saltonstall trapped in goal. Great result for the Bradford Bulls and John Keir. And when you're hunting your first repeat set from a goal line dropout, why not do it 5 minutes from time?
Yeah, he's talking control, he's Brough. He's talking, let's keep him down here. Pinpoint kick, great chase. Goal line dropout, they've got it all to do here, Halifax.
26 points apiece. Is this the set for Bradford?
That's a fair doubt, that one.
Connor Robinson up to halfway. Here it goes, Levi Enzongu. 38 metres out on tackle number 1. Bradford will be looking for mistake-free rugby league here, because we are in the final 5 minutes as Fleming is rolled over right in front of the post. Here goes Brad England. Brad England carries Bradford closer. Danny Bruff's marshalling the players in position. This is clearly the set, is it not? Yes, it does. Danny Bruff drops back now as Levi Nzongu takes Bradford right in front of the shadow of the Halifax post. Is this the moment for Lilly? Is it the moment for Danny Bruff? It goes to Jordan Lilly. Jordan Lilly in front of the post, puts it between the posts, and just like Jordan Lilly did 2 seasons ago against Featherstone, he has took Bradford out into a 27-26 lead here with under 4 minutes to go.
Wrote the script. 2 great halves to give him control there. They set that up really well. Danny Bruff was the go-to man. 5 Halifax jumpers trying to screw him to the floor so he can't kick it, and he just offloads it on the inside to, here you go, what a great soak. Danny Bruff all the way now. Jordan Lilly, bit more time, bang. Get that into you. Great.
Halifax have got the ball back from the restart. This one's not over yet as Nick Rawsthorne takes Halifax over on that far stand side, and now Halifax, I tell you what, there's 3 minutes to go. Do Halifax go for a try here? Bradford don't want to give any penalties away. This game has had just about everything. Halifax now, can they get themselves back in front? It's ebbed and flowed all afternoon. Harris towards Braley. Braley looking to offload the ball. He's told there by Harris to detect the tackle, and he's brought down 5 metres out in that far stand corner. Well, I tell you what, how's your pulses? Halifax are over, but they're held up.
Well, how many players they've got? 2 left?
2 tackles remaining here.
Oh, this is where Robinson and Murray need to control this.
Ed Barber was held up over the line there. We could not see the ball grounded, and the clock is stopped with just under 3 minutes remaining. Brian, how's the pulse? How's the blood pressure?
It's all right because I'm not out there. But it's been an end-to-end classic, hasn't it? Literally, what a great short kick-off. Rawsthorne claiming it, and neither of these teams are going away, are they?
Well, we're just going to see here, out of dummy half. Look at this. Ed Barber, credit there to that Bradford Bulls defence. Aaron Murphy just getting his body under the ball there. And how's the pulse here? Robinson, Halifax are going for broke here. It goes out wide towards Rawsthorne. Rawsthorne's brought down. They're on the last tackle. They've got to try and get the ball in centre field towards Connor Robinson. Here it is with Robinson. It goes back towards Harris. Harris, he goes for a crossfield kick. Defogging Johnston lets that one bounce. Halifax look to offload the ball, but Barber is wrapped up, although he's got the ball out. That's gone forward. And was that the moment, Brian, where Halifax should have shown greater composure?
Worthington needed to set the ball further into the line there. He released Rawsthorne too early. Bear in mind, you've got 5 or 6 white jumpers streaming across. Something needed to stop them. And they should have gone for a drop goal, in my opinion. Or set up, play around the middle. When it's such a close game, tell teams to play around the middle, find players around the middle, because the referee might lose his composure and there might be a penalty involved. Great offload.
Well, Bradford need to try and keep hold of possession and move the ball as far away from their own post as possible, because Halifax are still going to have at least one full set of 6 here in the closing moments of this game. Adam Rooks back out on the field, had a spell in the sin bin in the 14th minute as Thomas Doyle now carries Bradford inside that Halifax half. Or do you perhaps try and go for another drop goal for Bradford as Jordan Lilly somehow keeps hold of the ball? Rookson's in there at dummy half. Look how tired Brandon Pickersgill is. He just rolls and drops himself on the floor there, and Bradford are on the last tackle, 30 metres out from the Halifax post. It goes towards Danny Bruff, and that's another nasty kick here for Saltonstall to take. Saltonstall takes it on the full there, and now Halifax, this will be their final set, we feel, with time running out. Can they do it, Brian?
Yeah, they can do it, but I don't think the Bradford Bulls are in the mood to let them do it. One defensive set and your season turns around, doesn't it? Crazy numbers.
Well, today is the 15th meeting between these two rivals since Bradford were relegated from the Super League. Bradford winning 6 to date. Halifax have registered 8 wins. This one has been one of the best between these West Yorkshire rivals, and we're going right down to the wire here. We're told there's 70 seconds remaining by the timekeeper, Robinson to Murray. So Halifax still might have one more set of 6 after this one, but they're on the last tackle and they're 5 metres shy of halfway. Is it perhaps a 40-20 here from Robinson? Robinson, a high hanging kick. Is that a penalty? Referee looks to the touch judge. No one comes on. Robinson's gone down. A huge contentious decision there. Robinson still holding the head. Dan Fleming's receiving medical attention. The referee will stop the clock, and we have 50 seconds remaining here, Brian.
I'd like to see that one again. I think Fleming's committed, there's no doubt about that, but does he make contact to a vulnerable kicker, which is an offence in this day and age? Here we go, let's have a look. Ooh, it's a close one. He's vulnerable, isn't he?
I think, if we're being brutally honest, Brian, Bradford have got away with that one. The touch judges, the referee, to be fair, he hesitated.
He looked to the touch,
he had a look. He looked to the touch judges. The referee was tracking the ball. The touch judges, no one come on the field, so Bradford might just be getting away with this one here. Here we go.
Nah.
Is he committed to the
50-50?
50-50, says Mr. Brian Noble. Oh, Bradford, they have 50 seconds to hold on here. It has been an unbelievable afternoon. Brian will have to do the Our League Man of the Match after the game, because something could still happen here, but get your thinking cap on here, because one of these players from the Halifax Bradford, 34 players, they've gone through the emotions and then some this evening. 27 points to Bradford, 26 to Halifax. Steve Crossley is in possession here. Bradford are just going to try and run down this clock at the end of the game here, because they have the lead, and who would have thought that this result would have panned out after Halifax were leading by 14 points to nil inside 20 minutes early in that first half, with Bradford down to 12 men. It has been a magnificent, heroic performance. Bradford on the last tackle. There's still time. I reckon Halifax will have to play the balls potentially. Doyle to Brough. It goes to Oakes. Oakes keeps hold of possession, and he's brought down 10 metres out. Right, everybody looks at the timekeeper. Oh. He says there's 30 seconds left. 30 seconds, Brian. What do you do?
You shift the ball. You keep the ball alive. You keep your players behind. And Bradford has got all their nerve, keep their shape and defensively.
Halifax, can they somehow rescue this game? They have seconds remaining. 10 seconds left here. It goes towards Harris. Wrong option there from Halifax. This has to be it. It's the final play. They've got to move the ball around here. The hooter about to sound. The hooter sounds. This is the final play. Murray's not heard the hooter. He kicks it in, and Jordan Lilly's come up with the ball. The referee says Jordan Lilly is tackled. Jordan Lilly thought he was away for the winning try, but in the end it was Jordan Lilly's drop goal. 4 minutes from the end of this game. It has been a Betfred Championship thriller, end to end. Brian Noble, try and put pictures into words.
Well, I mean, at the start of this game you thought Bradford had no hopers, but their energy was good. Even though they were jumping offside, they weren't giving themselves a chance. Their energy all afternoon was there to be seen and was palpable. And then when you think they're in front and they've given the knockout punch, you think the other team, Halifax, think, no, we're still in this, and they get themselves in front and will be kicking themselves right at the end when they lost composure. But credit to really committed teams. Elements of skill at the right times broke the game over with influential players, and I just think Bradford had one player just probably that for me who I'd give the man of the match to was probably Jordan Lilly. I just think his influence in the game, his direction in the game, a couple of brilliant players, individual players at the right times that got them back in there. Both of these teams have got candidates for that. You know, the Springer came on, the boy Brough came on for Halifax and changed the game for them, and Robinson and Murray were incisive all the time, and Brough was kicking the ball really, really well all afternoon. But I just think it's been a cracking game, it's been an exciting game, and you could see the desperation in the Bulls at the end, couldn't you?
Well, Jordan Lilly has been given the Our League Man of the Match by Brian Noble this evening. We can see Jordan Lilly, and this is what rugby league's all about. Look at that, Jordan Lilly there on the halfway line, talking in depth there with Liam Harris. He's now hugging the Bulls assistant coach Mark Dunning, and Jordan Lilly, well, you know, this is repaying the faith shown by John Keir. He got suspended, Brian, for a late tackle earlier on in the pre-season. He's served the 2 games and he's back with a bang, and just give the viewers a little bit of importance how that having cohesion in the halves and the spine between the fullback and the halves now, because look at John Keir there, raw sporting emotion. John Keir's just planted a smacker on Jordan Lilly. I tell you what, he'll be the king of Bradford tonight, will Jordan Lilly.
Well, it's the start of the season, isn't it? And people like Jordan Lilly and the fulcrum of the team, Danny Brough alongside him, they've got to gel this year for Bradford to be successful, and today they did. He went in dummy half at times to run the show because he knew what was going on. He's got the team to the right parts of the field at the right time, and importantly come out with some special plays at the right time. So Jordan Lilly will be glad he's back, and John Keir will be glad he's back.
Well, when we spoke to John Keir earlier on this week, John Keir was expecting to see fighting spirit and pride in the shirt. They have had a tough 2-week review. They know it was a below par performance, and they have had a positive week training hard. And I think we've seen the effects of a very brutal, Brian, soul-searching, self-reflective, looking at the man in the mirror week in that performance, as we see the highlights from an absolutely amazing game of Bradford Championship Rugby League.
Well, the one thing you can't do in Rugby League is get out-enthused. And if you're out-enthused, you get beat, and they were against Sheffield. But they've come up with the right. This is the Pickersgill's try in the second half when he strips the boy Griggs for speed, and he's gone, isn't he? And he wasn't going to be caught. That's probably a game-breaking moment as well in relation to that score. But it was on the back of the big carry, wasn't it, from Skur on the offload, and the bits of impact that he had for 10 minutes. So at certain times there's been impactful stuff. Is it the short kick-off where they get the ball back?
Oh no, this is the incident with Evan Skur.
Yeah, this is Skur. Yeah, so Skur hits the line, boom. Takes a few people with him, finds an offload. The boy Lilly sends the ball, sees Pickersgill flying, and he's gone. He's got Brown on his inside and Fogging Johnson, but he ain't going to be caught. He's pin your lugs back, mate. If you see space like that, you pin your lugs back and you just go for it, and he did.
Well, there we are. We can see Brandon Pickersgill. That was the try 4 minutes into the start of the second half. And then there was this one 2 minutes later from D. Fogging Johnson. This was on the back of a penalty and some early ill discipline from Halifax at the start of the second half. And I guess crucially, Brian, when you get a 6 again or a penalty, Bradford turned possession and good ball into points.
Well, it's one of those moments we pointed out for Lilly. He injected himself in the line there as a fullback, where a fullback would show up. So he's filled that space there and found a pass, slightly 50-50 pass on, but don't take anything away from the big right to left shift, going at the line, committing defenders. Brough hands it on. There's Murphy with the boy out the back, and it's Lilly that goes right into the teeth of it, that attracts Rawsthorne at the end, and he finishes the play. So Lilly's injected there. He got the one-on-one steal, remember, in the second half, that changed the momentum of the game when the penalty was given for the send-off for the trip, for the sin bin for the trip. And here's Springer doing themselves. So Halifax found themselves in the game at the right end of the field. And what we do know about this Halifax Panthers team is they're capable of scoring points as well, and they did. So this game just didn't go away. We didn't know which way it was going to go right till the death, but I think the desperation in the Bulls and the energy that they showed. But here's Springer coming back against the grain. Crossley goes too far, so when coach is looking at that, he'll say, you've gone too far, and the boy Rooks couldn't get and make the play, so he went straight through. He's too big and too strong in that part of the field. And then so Halifax had the momentum at different times, and here's Springer again, his influence with the offload there, straight to Robinson, who finds a kick that in theory Brown and Pickersgill should do better here. They don't communicate with each other, but Kevin Leroy is the Frenchman on the spot and puts the ball down, and all of a sudden it's a great kick from the sideline, and Bradford are thinking, well, we've done all that work, we've done everything, and how on earth are we behind again? But they got down, they got the back to the right end of the field. Here's the kick from Robinson.
I was thinking, Brian, in commentary, what's going on, but perhaps he foretold a collision between Pickersgill and Brown, and as we see, Leroy picks it up, and at this point 26 points to 24, and we can see Connor Robinson here immaculate with the boot this afternoon. Pilots that one between the posts. You're almost suspecting Bradford are the ones that are fading.
Well, they'd shown enough energy for me and enough fight. Both teams were really committed. It's been a great derby in relation to that. And here's Rawsthorne, bump, offload, great skill in the middle, still playing. There you go. So they had players like that all the time, didn't they? Murray got themselves to the right pass. They did. If they opened up Bradford in and around the middle, but here you go. Here's the drop goal, is it? That's the 2 points that gets them back on level terms.
Kevin Leroy,
off
just that false start.
And you know, Coach Griggs will be looking at that thinking, well, we were 26, 24 up then. So they get to 26 all, everybody's back in the game. And there's the smart bit. So everybody's going to chase down Danny Brough. 5 black jumpers going for Brough. They've got another kicker, Jordan Lilly, who's on his right foot in the side. And then there you go. Brilliant. That's the 1 point that was enough for them.
And still, Brian, after
Halifax
that Jordan
back,
Lilly drop goal, there's a chance here from Ed Barber.
Yeah, well, this shows that it was a chance. It wasn't. The chance was to level the game again, so they should have played in and around the middle to drop a goal. I think they lost a little bit of composure at the end, the Panthers. But he fancied himself there. It's hard to be critical, but when they went away, they went to a right-left shift, if you remember. They went right to this left-hand side and had to hand over the ball, where they should have played at the middle and dropped a goal. And we'd still be working now, Mick. We'd still be calling the game in Golden Point.
Well, there we could see what another amazing weekend from the Betfred Championship. Not enough superlatives to describe the action in a number of those games. Wins for Batley, Toulouse, Dewsbury, Featherstone, Whitehaven beating Newcastle earlier on this afternoon, and Bradford there back from the dead, 27 points to 26. And coming up next on our league, what a humdinger this is going to be, the York City Knights against the Sheffield Eagles. Sheffield looking for revenge after that early Challenge Cup exit, and as we're saying, Bradford have responded after their disappointing start to the season. Can York do likewise? Brian, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Loved it.
We might see you next Sunday evening for Bradford v Dewsbury.
Absolutely, that's here as well.
Yeah, we'll be back. So from me and Brian, we'll be back here next Sunday at 7:30. It will, of course, be the Jeff Gratian Memorial Trophy. But from myself, Mick and Brian, enjoy the rest of your evening. We certainly love rugby league.